How did it feel going into rehearsals on day one with nothing finished or no arrangements?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, it was really good. No, I'm joking. I have a better answer for you. I think you should come out of a pandemic and question why you do the things you do, right? So, the idea of coming out of a situation like that, especially when people weren't talking about it, like we've had this crazy habit of like rolling through chaos and then just getting to the other side of it and being like, okay, let's just get back to normal. But nothing felt really normal for a while. So the idea of doing it like that was a way of acknowledging chaos, that chaos exists. So like go in a room with nothing planned, with a bunch of people that I've never put in a room together before. Like they were all kind of strangers to each other except for the people that work for me historically, so 3 or 4 of them are strangers. And see like the social dynamics, how it would unfold, see what happens for me like when you get up on a stage with ideas that are half finished. It was like super challenging and interesting. Wait, do we have stereo fiddles as well? Jesus Christ. No one telling me this.
Bring everything, so
I love it. That's so fun.
In those gaps where the bass cuts out, that when you're first going bum bum, like it's really just the acoustic guitars hitting with you and everything. And then I guess the piano is as well. But then they're getting like a big sort of mono pad thing. So it's really just the blend that's going to be what makes it sing. But once we have it really tight, I think more yeah.
But it was like a sociological experiment in the beginning to sort of like challenge the idea of what had been done before and also embrace the reality that like life is just absolute chaos. So like embrace the chaos. I've been talking about that for fucking years, the idea of embracing chaos, and I've never actually done it. Like it's just a pithy thing, that's something you say where you're just like, I'm going to do things differently, and then you do things the exact fucking same because the idea of doing things differently is terrifying. So to go in a room and be like, okay, I'm just going to do this and there's no way out of it, was amazing because it just like sets everybody up and makes everybody like super, like you listen more than you used to listen, you care more than you used to care. I was listening to the things that people would say, like we'd play a song and we get to the end of it and I'd listen to like Luke, the piano player, and he'd be like, I fucking really like this song. And you're like, oh, that's like, I shouldn't really care about that stuff at this point in my career, but of course I should. Like I want people to like the music.
How you doing?
good, man. How are you?
Yeah.
You look really good on camera.
Do it.
Very photogenic.
Yeah, that zoom is mad. Songs are really taking shape, and because I haven't finished everything, there's so much life in the parts that the guys can really kind of inhabit it and have some fun with it, and I can have fun watching that unfold. So day one down, and as rehearsals go, definitely like the best one I've ever done, and day ones are never the best version of a thing. So I think this is just going to get better and better and more exciting as the week goes on. So yeah, day one down.
Was that your thing again? No. I thought that was me. Oh, you sassy motherfucker. That's not where anything is coming from anymore. That's good.
I kept thinking that some of the noises you were making were me.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that. I'm like, I can't identify what I'm doing, but it still sounds great. So that felt cool. Yeah.
What are you at? 40. What?
But it's like a tiny bit ahead of the 4.
Spend like 5 minutes explaining.
Go back real quick. Yeah, my motive was to be successful, was to like take this kind of weird idea that I like, because I remember vividly the idea of pitching this documentary and pitching this idea of these shows. It had been an idea that had been swimming in my head for a while, because I keep trying to find ways to challenge myself and to succeed within that challenge. So when I started, it was very much just like you're meeting those very immediate demands. Pay rent, you know, play shows, get people to come to those shows. And then it all changes, and it's like money comes in, the success comes in, and then the sort of the formula changes and the pattern changes a little bit, and you make these little incremental corrections. And then before you know it, you're just like, you're on stage at the Electric Picnic at a huge show, and you're just like, what am I doing here? Like, because music felt super automated in a lot of ways, like how it gets made. I started out just like, you know, making music by myself, and then I included a lot of people, and it was great for a minute, and then it wasn't. And there was just loads of stuff that had changed, but like really subtly, and kind of crept up on me. And it was a point at the picnic where I was just like, I don't know if this is what the version of me as a musician, or if this is the version of the music industry. I was like, I'd rather just go like sit at home and make records for other people or do other things, because this is supposed to be challenging. You're supposed to challenge yourself, and you're supposed to succeed. And with something like that, the challenge was not there, and the success was monetary, which is like, not, you know, obviously, fuck, you know, it's great to make money doing a job like this, but that was never the point. So like, to get back to something that was like, had real stakes to it, and to succeed within those stakes, that was the point. And that is the whole point of everything that I'm doing right now, is like, I'm not going to do something unless it feels like there's actual risk involved to it. So the idea of getting on stage in front of people, make them put their phones away, play a bunch of music that they've never heard and they haven't heard since, that feels like the perfect amount of pretension. that's kind of it.
Nothing here is how it used to be anymore. Get back to my hotel room, barely see the trees by the door. I watch the fire from the atmosphere, Jesus sleeping in the alley. She gets some food before it gets too late to care. And that's when you take me over, get me dry, keep me warm. I don't know much, I know I exist for your love, for your love, for your love, for your love, for your
Fuck, who knew that 10 years into doing something, releasing albums, you could do something like this and realize, not that everything you've done before is wrong, everything at the right place at the right time, right? But I'm just at a point where I'm ready to like loosen the reins on the right things and learn the right things in real time. And that's exciting. I think it's going to be special.
On the chorus, I think the kick pattern should, like, I like what you're doing with the hi-hats and the snare. I think the kick pattern should be like dum 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 dum, like dum 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 cat dum dum, yeah, dum cat. I think that'll just keep the forward motion going a bit through it. I just feel like when the kick's on the one, it's just kind of sitting a little bit static. Also the snare, maybe it needs a little tune. It's not sounding as sassy as it was yesterday. Less I knew, just to kind of like get myself back on track mentally, I went to a studio and used the studio. And it was this place, Black Mountain, up in Dundalk. And it was just a lovely little experience. It wasn't stressful. was just a holistic thing, and it got me back in that head space of like, all right, cool. Studios are the place I've always wanted to be. So it was like that 1 degree correction back towards like the straight line. And then with this one again, it was like, I'm gonna make this fun. Like, these people I love, this process I love, and if I hate it, I'm gonna leave, because I don't want to be in here stressing out anymore, and I don't want to be disrespecting the process. So leave the studio if it feels like the sauce is weak, and then come back when it feels like it's strong. Guitar is pulling it off as well, because the guitar isn't locked.
Yeah.
So I think when a guitar locks to it, it might feel better, more graceful. But right now it feels like
it could even be a thing that it's like perk that is added.
Yeah.
That gives it the little shake and shimmy as it goes in later into that section.
Yeah.
Then it's the straight one.
Yeah.
So
For sure. Out now.
Maybe. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. No, I want to do it. I just didn't have time to get the lyric done.
Yeah.
And it's
I
goes on a journey.
with the gig as
Yeah.
He might like yours. He seems really nice.
Yeah. So it's one round without vocals.
It's one where that vocals, and then I think 3 with, and then on like 2 that follow this melody, and then a 3rd one comes in.
Cool.
I think that's how we did it here.
It was a bit more reserved. I wasn't playing as much, plucking as much.
Takes a minute for your head to start nodding, but then once you get in here, it's at a great tempo.
Yeah, it's a little post-rockier at this tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big song.
Yeah.
So allowing everybody to have that space to breathe. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool.
Face on the have fun around. But every night I go outside in the dark, I look up at the stars, thinking about how much time I give up to stay without. How stars go round and round, nothing matters now. Everybody's back, everybody's back.
So like everything we made here in Camden Studios, getting in doing the drums, was amazing. Then take a break, like stepped off it for a few months, and then went back to London and got back in with Riley, my engineer over there, and went through everything, and then saw the bigger picture, and then we were able to step on it again and just keep it rolling and do 4 or 5 days of a run, and then take a break and stop and think about it. And it's like, yeah, there's a respect level that needs to be paid to the process, which I had not been paying for the longest time.
That they carried like an ocean. I heard what you said. I admit I was losing it. Now I'm breathing in. Now I'm feeling it too.
Yeah, there's a couple of little moments where they kind of smack up against each other a little bit, but I think it's all once the BVs and everything get and it gets fucking put in its place.
Yeah.
Let me do that vocal.
Cool.
Yeah. What was it? It's the last.
Now I'm feeling it, mate.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, London was the studio that I made a lot of that Grapefruit Season album in, and it was one of those places where I was just like, didn't feel like we utilized the studio to its potential. So for anything, me going to that particular studio was really important, because it's an amazing space, and I had such a great time there. I had such a good time making music there, while also not really making music that I adored, and I felt like I've really nailed this. So going back to the church, going in with Riley, who is an amazing engineer, and really just like enjoying the space and pushing myself felt really like, if I'm saying there that there's a beginning and a middle and an end to the loop of this album creation, going into the church was like the end of a bigger loop, which sort of started in like 2018, 2019 for me, of going to studios like that and not using them to their full potential, and not using myself to my full potential, or musicians, or the process, or doing the things I used to do, digging in.
This is Margot singing on this one. On the next one we're gonna do.
Everybody stop, everyone, 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 everybody stop, everyone, everyone, everybody stop, everyone, 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 everybody stop, everyone.
It's so good.
It's good, isn't it? Like, you don't want it to be good. I know when I said it to you yesterday, I'm sure a party was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No, not at all. No.
But it's like, you know what? Like, one of my favorite moments from like that whole album when we were working together upstairs was the kids choir. That was like,
Yeah.
because like kids sing things in a way that, like, I don't know, maybe there's AI programs that can recreate it or whatever, but it just doesn't have that, like, the way she came, because I was like, okay, 1, 2, and she didn't get the one, like, it's like, but she kind of, and it was just like, there's something so charming about it. And when you overlap the voices, because she has no clue how to fucking, like, do what I do, which is like sing the same thing over and over again, she was just all over the grid. And it's just unbelievably charming. That day when they came in, do you remember they came in and they were just singing the song and they knew every word, and you're just like, this is crazy, like, that they care that much. That was amazing. That was like my favorite day in the studio.
There's something about kids singing first. I mean, obviously during the show, like, it was us singing it, so it's different. But when she sings it, because the lyric was, she started singing "Everybody's Bad" when she came in the first time. We were in the room next door, and she started singing, and I was just like, "Oh, that's a cool lyric." But then the next time she did it, she sang "Everybody's Sad," right? "Everybody's Sad," I think was what we changed it to, and I was like, "Oh, like a 5-year-old, and it's just singing everyone, everybody's sad." There's something about it that's just like, you couldn't contrive it, and you can't make it up. And if I sang it, if I was the one that wrote that and sang it, you'd be like, what the fuck is this grown man singing "Everybody's Sad"? But like, when she sings it and you stack kids' vocals, there's just something about it that's just like kind of gold. So yeah, it's definitely like a tune I play for people, and they're like, everyone is like, that's a thing, that's something. Transparency was key, like that sort of like clear-eyed thing. So anything that we did was just like, keep it direct, keep it strong, and live with the mistakes. And then not only live with them, but embrace the mistakes, you know?
Everyone, my shirt is inside out again. It's likely that in some time I'll need your help again. My whole goal.
Authenticity is like a subjective thing now. Like, what's real, what isn't real, it can be like completely filtered and fed to you, and you believe whatever I tell you to believe. So the idea of doing this documentary and capturing it was because we work in this reality. That just because I say a thing to you doesn't mean it's so. It just means I'm saying it to you, and I can back it up with nothing. But you'll still have to believe it because you weren't there and you don't know. So like, the idea of doing this was like, here it is. This is like a little totem of that period of time. It's a time capsule. It's a thing that we could be like, there's a start, there's a middle, and there's an end. And whenever you look at it and you listen to the music, you can hopefully connect the two, and people will be like, okay, cool. I believe James because they see it. I'm not just not being told to believe it. And I think that's super important for me at this point, was to like actually visualize the thing and let people in on the process so they can see that actually, like, musicians do and should put in work, you know? Yeah.